The ocean stretched endlessly, a canvas of blue and silver where the horizon melted into the sky. From a distance, Coral Serenity 2026 appeared like a floating palace, its silhouette gleaming under the sun. The ship's sleek lines cut effortlessly through the waves, and as it drew closer, the sheer scale of its grandeur became clear. Passengers gathering at the embarkation point could already feel their hearts racing. For many, this was not just a voyage, it was the dream of a lifetime about to unfold. As the first steps crossed the polished wooden gangway, the experience began. The entrance hall opened with towering glass walls, sunlight pouring in like liquid gold. The marble floors reflected the shimmer of the sea, and every corner was infused with the scent of fresh orchids. Soft instrumental music played, blending with the distant sound of the waves outside. Crew members, dressed in immaculate uniforms, greeted each passenger with warm smiles and sparkling drinks, their words carrying both welcome and promise. Already, it felt less like boarding a ship and more like stepping into another world. Soon, the first moment of magic revealed itself. On the open deck, the ship pulled gently away from the harbor, and a cheer rippled through the crowd as land faded into the distance. Slowly, the coastline shrank, replaced by endless water, glittering like millions of diamonds scattered beneath the sun. The breeze swept across faces, lifting hair and spirits alike. Some passengers stood silently, letting the sight sink into their souls. Others laughed, pointing at dolphins that appeared playfully in the ship's wake, as though the sea itself had come to bid farewell. Cameras clicked, but many simply put their devices away, realizing no photograph could capture what their hearts were feeling. Later, the first evening aboard unfolded like a carefully painted dream. Golden hour bathed the vessel in warmth, and as the sun dipped low, the sky transformed into hues of crimson and violet. On the horizon, the ocean burned with fiery reflections, and passengers gathered at the railings in hushed awe. Couples leaned together, their silhouettes etched against the setting sun, while families embraced the serenity of the moment. The atmosphere was one of unity, strangers connected not by words, but by the shared wonder of nature's canvas. When the last rays of light sank into the waves, the ship seemed to glow on its own, its lights flickering awake like stars rising from the sea. The fourth scene opened the heart of Coral Serenity, the grand atrium. It towered through multiple decks, crowned by a skylight where moonlight poured in at night and sunlight by day. A chandelier of crystal, designed to mimic cascading droplets of water, sparkled above. Live musicians played a gentle serenade from the central platform as passengers explored. Some wandered into art galleries lined with modern and classic works, others sipped coffee at elegant cafes that spilled into the atrium space. The air buzzed with gentle laughter, footsteps, and the clink of glasses. Every detail was crafted to make guests feel not like travelers, but like citizens of a floating city of dreams. Morning brought a new chapter. The wellness deck opened its arms to those who sought peace of body and soul. At sunrise, a group gathered on the wooden platform overlooking the sea, practicing yoga as the first light kissed the waves. The instructor's calm voice mingled with the rhythm of the surf, guiding each breath in perfect harmony with the tide. Some meditated quietly, eyes closed, letting the breeze wash their worries away. Others strolled along the deck's walking path, where the sound of footsteps mingled with the ocean's eternal heartbeat. Nearby, the spa released scents of lavender and citrus, where massage rooms promised to erase fatigue with skilled hands and ocean-inspired therapies. Here, the sea was not just scenery, it was healer, guide, and silent companion. As the day brightened, laughter rang across the leisure decks. Pools shimmered like blue mirrors beneath the sun, their edges lined with loungers shaded by soft canopies. Children squealed as they splashed in shallow play areas, while others raced down twisting slides that spilled into clear water with joyful crashes. Adults floated lazily, cocktails in hand, their sunglasses reflecting both the sky and the glistening sea. From above, it looked like an oasis drifting across the ocean, where life slowed, worries vanished, and only joy remained. The gentle hum of the engines below reminded them they were moving, yet for many it felt as though time itself had paused. By late afternoon, the observatory deck welcomed curious souls. A dome of glass arched high above, revealing the endless expanse of sky and sea in every direction. Guests pressed close to the transparent walls, eyes wide as dolphins surfaced again in playful arcs. The light shifted constantly, shimmering on the water, refracting into dazzling patterns that seemed alive. Families pointed, children's voices full of wonder, while couples simply stood in silence, holding hands. The dome echoed with gasps and whispers, not because of spectacle alone, but because of the connection it gave, reminding each person how vast the world was, and yet how small, when shared together on this single voyage. The first night aboard drew to a gentle close with a promise of more wonders to come. Coral Serenity 2026, bathed in moonlight, continued its steady journey into the heart of the sea. Passengers retreated to their cabins or lingered on open decks, their minds carrying memories already too precious to forget. The ocean stretched around them endlessly, mysterious and eternal, while the ship itself became a cocoon of comfort and discovery. No one knew exactly what awaited tomorrow, but they all knew this: the journey had only just begun. The morning sun rose high, casting a radiant glow across Coral Serenity's decks. By midday, the heart of the ship was alive with new discoveries. Passengers had begun to settle into the rhythm of life at sea, yet every corner they explored revealed something unexpected, something breathtaking. The eighth scene unfolded in the observatory dome. A sweeping glass chamber curved into the sky, offering passengers a panoramic embrace of the endless horizon. Inside, the air was cool and quiet, a sanctuary where the sea and sky became one. Children pressed eager hands against the transparent walls, squealing when a pod of dolphins leapt gracefully nearby. Couples stood side by side, whispering in awe, while photographers tried in vain to capture what the naked eye and beating heart could feel better than any lens. Sunlight poured in, refracting into rainbow patterns across the polished floor, painting the space in colors that danced with the movement of the waves. Time seemed suspended, as if the dome itself floated outside the ship, letting passengers touch the edge of infinity. The ninth scene carried them into the grandeur of the dining hall, where the ocean itself became the backdrop to a feast. Towering windows framed the sea on both sides, and the ceiling glowed with shifting lights that mimicked gentle waves. Tables were dressed in crisp linen, glasses glittered like jewels, and the air hummed with soft melodies from a live violin and piano duet. Plates arrived like works of art, seafood arranged with delicate care, international cuisine infused with flavor and fragrance. Couples toasted with sparkling wine, their laughter mingling with music, while families leaned close, sharing stories between bites. Every meal was more than food, it was an experience woven with elegance, joy, and connection. The dining hall of Coral Serenity wasn't just a restaurant, it was a celebration of life at sea. The 10th scene revealed the ship's entertainment theater, alive with excitement. Velvet curtains swept aside, and the stage exploded with color and sound. A troupe of dancers spun across the floor, their movements inspired by cultures from every corner of the world. Gasps and cheers erupted as a magician bent reality with sleight of hand, pulling flames from the air and vanishing coins into thin space. The audience leaned forward, children wide-eyed, adults caught between disbelief and wonder. Then the lights softened, and a single spotlight fell upon a singer. Her voice rose gently, then soared, carrying a haunting melody about the sea, its vastness, its beauty, its mystery. For a moment, the room was utterly still, her song weaving itself into the hearts of everyone listening. Applause erupted like a wave at the final note, not just for her performance, but for the emotions she had awakened. The 11th scene shifted the pace, inviting passengers into the calm embrace of the wellness and spa deck. Here, time slowed again. Treadmills faced wide windows, letting joggers run with the sea stretching endlessly before them. In one room, a yoga class moved gracefully, each posture flowing with the rhythm of the waves beyond. The spa exhaled scents of lavender, eucalyptus, and sea salt. Gentle hands worked across tired muscles, oils warmed against skin, and sighs of relief escaped as tension melted away. The sound of water trickling from indoor fountains mixed with tranquil music, creating a space where stress dissolved, replaced by peace. Guests emerged from the spa renewed, as though the ocean itself had lent them its strength and serenity. The 12th scene unfolded on the sunset deck, where the ship revealed one of its most enchanting gifts. As the day faded, passengers gathered, drawn by instinct toward the glowing horizon. The sky ignited with color, deep orange, crimson, and rose melting together into a masterpiece only nature could create. The sun slid slowly into the sea, leaving a golden trail across the water that shimmered like liquid fire. Couples leaned into each other, families held children close, and friends laughed softly at the beauty they shared. Some recorded the view, but many simply stood still, knowing no image could match the living moment. The air was cooler now, kissed by evening winds, and every heart seemed to beat in rhythm with the descending sun. When the last sliver of light slipped beneath the horizon, silence lingered, heavy with awe, before a wave of whispers and smiles spread across the deck. The 13th scene transformed the ship into a world of night. Inside, the lounge lit with neon glow and pulsing music. A DJ raised the energy, and the dance floor filled with young travelers, their laughter and cheers spilling into the night. Drinks sparkled under colored lights, glasses clinked, and friendships were born in moments of shared rhythm. Yet just beyond the energy, another side of the night bloomed. A quiet lounge corner hosted a saxophonist, his golden notes floating over candlelit tables. Couples held hands, sipping wine in the warm glow of intimacy. In a single ship, two worlds coexisted, the vibrant pulse of celebration and the gentle murmur of romance. Coral Serenity offered both, and passengers chose their rhythm. The 14th scene crowned the day with magic. On the top deck, an open-air cinema stretched beneath a sky scattered with stars. A giant screen glowed against the dark, playing a film of adventure and discovery. Guests reclined in soft chairs, blankets wrapped around them, popcorn in hand, as the sea breeze swept through. Some watched the movie with wide eyes, yet many found their gaze drawn upward. The real show was above, the constellations shining brighter than ever, as if the heavens themselves had joined the performance. The ocean surrounded them, deep and still, reflecting both the screen and the stars. For those who stayed, it felt as if reality and imagination had fused, the film and the night sky telling the same story, that of human dreams sailing on infinite seas. As the credits rolled on the outdoor screen, a hush fell once again. Passengers lingered, reluctant to leave, reluctant to break the spell. Coral Serenity drifted onward, glowing softly against the night, carrying hundreds of souls who now shared one truth: they were no longer just travelers. They were dreamers, bound together by the ocean, by the stars, and by the ship that carried them farther into wonder. The evening sky stretched itself in strokes of violet and crimson as Coral Serenity glided further into the horizon. The day had been filled with laughter, moments of wonder, and serene silences that spoke louder than words. But now, as night prepared its curtain, the yacht revealed its final secrets, the last chapters of this journey. On the upper deck, lanterns made of frosted glass began to glow, their reflections trembling across the water like scattered stars. Guests gathered for a twilight feast, a farewell dinner that wasn't merely about food, but about memory. Long tables draped in white linen held dishes that echoed the journey itself, fresh seafood kissed by fire, tropical fruits sliced into jeweled patterns, and wine as red as the setting sun. The clinking of glasses became music, blending with the gentle hush of the ocean. A soft jazz trio played at the corner, the saxophone's tender notes curling into the evening air. In the distance, dolphins leapt against the fading light as though they too wished to bid farewell. Their silhouettes broke the surface, spraying arcs of silver droplets before diving back into the sea's embrace. Guests paused mid-bite, drawn by the scene, their hearts caught in the fragile magic of the moment. Cameras clicked, but more than technology, it was memory that held the frame. Later, as stars bloomed across the darkened sky, the yacht transformed again. The open deck became an observatory, and reclining chairs invited the guests to lie back, to surrender to the cosmos above. A guide with a soothing voice began to trace constellations with a laser, weaving ancient myths into the patterns of light. The Milky Way stretched like a painted veil, and one by one, shooting stars fell across it. Some guests made wishes silently, their lips barely moving, their eyes shimmering with hope. Others simply watched, humbled by the enormity of the universe mirrored upon the calm surface of the ocean. Below, in the quiet lounge, a few gathered for conversation over brandy and soft laughter. Stories were shared not just of this voyage but of life itself, the struggles, the triumphs, the dreams half built and the ones already broken. And somehow, within the stillness of Coral Serenity, even broken dreams felt as though they might heal. There was a sense that the ocean, with its endless expanse, absorbed pain as easily as it cradled joy. The final surprise arrived just before midnight. Guests were led to the bow, where the yacht cut through waters so clear they seemed lit from within. And then it appeared, an orchestra of bioluminescence. Each ripple sparked into glowing blue-green fire, turning the waves into liquid galaxies. When the yacht moved faster, the glow deepened, trailing luminous paths like comets in the sea. Gasps rose from the crowd, some kneeling to touch the surface, their hands lighting with the sea's hidden magic. For a moment, it felt as if the yacht wasn't sailing the earth but drifting across another world entirely. A hush fell. No music played, no words were spoken, only the steady rhythm of the water, alive and alight. And in that silence, every soul aboard felt the truth. Coral Serenity 2026 wasn't just a voyage, it was an awakening. An invitation to live more deeply, to feel more sharply, to remember that beauty often hides in places we forget to look. At last, as the night thickened, guests returned to their cabins, though many lingered on balconies, reluctant to let go. The yacht itself seemed to sigh with them, its engines humming like a lullaby. The waves rocked gently, a cradle beneath the stars. Slowly, the vessel turned toward its destination, but in the hearts of those aboard, the journey would never end. Morning would bring arrival, goodbyes, and the return to ordinary life. But long after, the taste of salt on lips, the memory of dolphins against a golden sky, the hush of bioluminescent seas, would remain. It would return in dreams, in fleeting scents of ocean air, in the sound of rain against glass. Coral Serenity 2026 had not merely carried them across the sea, it had carried them across themselves. And so it ended not with a final word, but with a feeling, the kind that lingers, echoing long after the sails are folded, after the anchor drops, after the world becomes ordinary again. For those who stepped aboard, Coral Serenity 2026 would forever be more than a voyage. It would be a story they carried, luminous as the waves, infinite as the stars.